Hello, welcome to another video of our AutoCAD tutorial series. In this video, we will be dealing mainly with the fillet and the chamfer command. So without wasting much time, let's go straight into it. Let's say you want to add a fillet to this corner of our rectangle. What we will do is, we come to the Home tab, this modifier, we have the fillet here. This is the fillet command. So you have to click on this fillet, and then if you look at the command line, it is telling you to specify the first object. But before specifying our first object, we have to determine our radius, the radius of our fillet, how round our fillet corner will be. So we have to come at this radius, click on the radius. Let's see, the radius of our fillet, I want it to be 2 centimeters. I will press enter. Then the command will tell me to specify my first object. This is the corner that I want to fillet. So I will say, let this be my first object, this line. I click, and if you look at the command, it's telling you to specify the second object. Then I will select the second object. If you look at it, before even select it, it will show you how my fillet will look. Now I will select, this will be my fillet. So this is one way of drawing your fillet. Another method will be, still let's click on our fillet. We specify our radius. Before any method, we have to specify our radius. Still we are using 2. And then let's say a polyline. If you look at this polyline, it is telling me, like if I click on this polyline, our fillet will be to all the corners of this figure. So let's click on this polyline and see. If you click on the polyline, it is telling you to select the 2D polyline. So this will be my polyline. See, this rectangle will be my polyline. So if I click on the rectangle, this is how all the corners will be rounded. So this is another method. Another method will be the multiple one. But before going to this Home tab and clicking this every time, we can just tap fillet, F, enter, and then if you look at this, still we have to specify our radius 2. We want to use this other method, this multiple method. So if you click on multiple, it means like if you want to add a fillet to this corner and this other corner, but you don't want it to be on this other 2 corners. So you can just say, before doing this fillet here and then going back to do the fillet for the other one, you can just click on multiple. You specify our first object, second object, this is the first one, you see. And if you look at the command, I tell you to specify the first object. Because we selected multiple, we can specify our first object again, do it for the other corner too. So this is how our fillet will look like for the multiple command. So this is basically everything about the fillet command. It is as easy as that. So another one will be the chamfer command. So to add chamfer is just like the fillet command, but in this case your corner will not be rounded. It will have a particular line, it will not be rounded. So to add the chamfer command, you have to come to the Home command, to the Home tab where you have this fillet. Click on this drop down list, you will see chamfer here. So you click on chamfer. When you click on chamfer, the same thing. Under the fillet command, we added radius, but in this case we add distance. So the distance, like from this corner, we specify our distance for the first line, and then we have to specify our distance for the second line. So our distance for the first line, let's say it is 1. We will enter. That will be from here to here. Then our distance for the second line, let's say 2. We enter. They are telling you to specify the first line. So this will be our first line, and this will be, you see, this will be our second line. Specify the second line. This will be our second line. So if you look at it, from the top, from that previous corner to here will be 1. If you look at this side is longer, so it is like 2. So this is one way of doing the chamfer command. Another method will be, you specify our distance still for the first line. Let's say it is 1. Still the second line will be 2, and in this case it is telling you for the polyline, same as the fillet corner. If you select for polyline, it will do for every single, for the whole of your rectangle. So if you look at it, you see, so it is like this for the polyline. That's just like the fillet command. Another method will be the multiple. So to do it for the multiple, we say multiple, But before doing that, always we have to specify our distance. Let our first distance be 2 in this case now, and our second distance be 2. Then we select multiple, select our first line, our second line, and we have our fillet. Then come again, select our first, second, and have our fillet. So this is for the multiple. So let's say you want to do another method that involves the angle. When you have this angle, now in this case, it is telling you to specify the chamfer length on the first line. On the first line, you specify the length. Let the length be 2. Then you specify the chamfer angle for the first line. In this case, you are not dealing with the second line. You specify the length for the first line and then the angle for the first line. Let's say the angle is 45 degrees. You see, so you specify our first line and then our second line. So if you look at it, this chamfer, it is formed at an angle of 45 degrees to the first line with a distance of 2 from the corner. So this is basically how you can do the chamfer and the fillet command. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment. Thank you.